Hello, folks. Thank you for joining us. We're just going to wait a couple more minutes before we get started. Thank you for joining us virtually this evening. We're excited to talk to y'all about the very exciting topic of taxes. So get hyped.
That sentence has never been said before.
I know. You heard it here first. You heard it here first. Ryan, let me know whenever y'all want to start, and then we can.
Yeah, I'll let you know. Just let a little bit of people trickle in just in case, It's like maybe at like 6:02, 6:03.
And just so everyone knows, we are recording this event. So if you don't feel comfortable sharing like your video or anything that you're more than welcome to turn it off. We are hoping to share this video with other people that couldn't make it out to this event. But yeah.
Let's start at 6:03, like 30 seconds. I still see some people trickling in, but yeah.
Sounds good. I always don't know what to say before the start of a presentation. Just
I've
I'm
been doing
sorry.
presentations for like 19 years of my life. Still don't know. Maybe a little music helps a little bit to kind of make it chill, like a chill environment.
Yeah, I should have been playing the kahoot music in the back.
Nothing more chill than Kahoot music.
A little
Okay.
foreshadowing for later.
Okay. I think we are ready to start if you are.
Okay, awesome.
Okay, perfect. Julia, you ready? Okay, cool. Hi, everyone. My name is Ryan Nguyen. I am a second year and I'm in business economics, but most importantly, I am in the ASUCI Financial Wellness Commission with my partner in crime, Julia, here. And yeah, we're going to be teaching you a little bit about navigating taxes, and we're excited to be here and excited to see everyone, all 27 of you guys. So perfect. And Julia, you want to do some introductions?
Hi everyone, I'm Julia Rios. I'm a third year business economics major, and I am also a peer financial educator alongside Ryan, and we're super excited to put this workshop on for you guys today.
And I think we're ready. Yeah. So just a little bit about our commission before we get into navigating taxes. So our mission statement is basically operating in the ASUCI Office of the President under the Basic Needs Commission. Our mission is to improve the financial wellness of our undergraduate student body and address financial needs from a proactive, preventative, and reactive perspective. So the Financial Wellness Commission kind of recognizes the systemic and structural barriers to financial literacy and wellness, and believes that every student deserves access to financial literacy education. And we strive to promote financial well-being by making financial support resources more accessible, as well as educate students on healthy personal habits. Next slide. So just a little self-promo here. I'm going to go this kind of fast, but we do offer peer financial coaching, something that me and Julia do as well as with other peer financial educators. We usually do one-on-one coaching appointments or two-on-one coaching appointments, depending on the type of topics you need. We're ranging from taxes to even budgeting and spending, credit, and a bunch of others. We do peer financial workshops, which is kind of like the one that you're doing right now. You're in right now. So navigating taxes is one that we do. We also have guest speaker workshops that we plan on doing more of in spring quarter, where we're going to have guest speakers come in and talk about certain financial topics. We have our monthly, bi-weekly newsletter that we're just getting started up as well, that kind of shows you a little bit of more information about kind of tips and tricks and some things you might need to know about financial wellness and learn a little bit more about financial literacy. And like we said, financial literacy, accessibility, and advocacy is something that we really strive for and really promote in our commission. And yeah, next slide. So, of course, with any type of financial type of presentation, we do have to give some disclaimers. If you want to read this for 1 or 2 minutes into your own pace, you can, but I'm gonna kind of read this really quick, like how you see medicine commercials online and on TV. So I'm going to go through this really quick. Although the ASUCI Financial Wellness Commission, FWC, seeks to maintain safe, secure, accurate, and well-functioning services, we cannot guarantee the continuous operation of or access to our services, and there may at times be inadvertent technical or factual errors or inaccuracies. The information provided through the services is provided solely for informational, educational, or entertainment purposes. The ASUCI Financial Wellness Commission and the services are not endorsed by or affiliated with FINRA, and FWC is not a financial institution or insurance provider. The FWC makes no representations, warranties, or guarantees expressed or implied regarding the results or savings that may be obtained through the use of the services. Before making any financial decisions or implementing any financial strategy, including recommendations of third parties identified through the services, FWC recommends that you obtain additional information and advice of accountants or other financial advisors who are fully aware of your individual circumstances. The FWC does not guarantee the accuracy of and disclaims all liability for and errors or other inaccuracies in the information, content, recommendations, and materials made available through the services. So yeah, pretty much kind of just like something to let you know, a disclaimer before we get into this. And next slide. And note, this information is most applicable to independent filers. So as college students, it may be more beneficial to file as a dependent to your parents under certain circumstances. It really depends on your circumstances and whether or not your parents want you to file alone or independently. That's a conversation you should be having with your parents or guardian. Make sure to speak to a tax professional before making a decision, as everyone's situation is unique. However, even if you don't file as an independent, this workshop can also help you for future tax filing opportunities. Remember, this workshop is strictly informational and educational. We do not give advice, as we are not licensed professionals. So if you can go on the next slide, we're going to go into our table of contents. So we're going to be doing we're going to have 5 parts. So it's going to be intro to taxes. So what are taxes and why are they important? Why do they even exist? So what type of taxes are there? And so we will be discussing a little bit about this in the upcoming slides. 2, some requirements. Some of you, something in number 2 is, do I need to file taxes? Some of you might think that you're too young to file taxes or just don't believe that it's time for you to file taxes, but filing taxes is more than just your age. So we're going to be talking about that as well. 3, we're going to be talking about tax forms, whether it's W-2, W-4, 1040, etc. A lot of us have become familiar with tax forms if you file for financial aid. And also some people have been asked about your tax forms during like job training and doing your application for a job. So that's something we'll also be talking about. And then new policies. So how are taxes changing with the new presidency? With President Biden's election to office, this has ushered new tax policies and regulations that we should all be informed about that's coming within the next 4 years. Number 5, next steps. And we're going to be talking about some tax filing services that are offered to you. We'll show you the next steps on getting started, which includes finding out about all the types of tax services offered and whether you should file taxes or not. Next slide. So we're going to be doing our introduction to taxes first, but we're also going to be doing how much do you know about taxes. So if everyone can go to this link and put in the code, I believe we're going to be doing some thing. Do you want to explain this a little bit?
Yes. So this is just to get your brain juices flowing about taxes, because I know it's a difficult topic to start talking about. So I'm just going to put in the link in the chat. So you're going to go to menti.com and you are going to put in the code 1500927, and it's going to take you to a word cloud situation, and just put down any words that you can think of when thinking about taxes or anything that you've heard in conversation with your parents, anything of that nature, just so we can kind of see and gauge where you all are at in terms of understanding. And then And so I'm gonna also put in the code so that I can see what words y'all are doing. So I will just give that a minute. So I'm seeing these words come in. I see withdrawal, tax returns, tax deductions, independent, W-2, IRS, asset taxes. Awesome. So I see there's some familiarity with some of the forms and some of the things that you need to consider when you are filing for taxes. And I see some people listen to the first thing we talked about, which is filing as an independent versus a dependent. So I see some attention already, which is great. Awesome. So I will go ahead and go back to the presentation.
Thank you very much. So we're going to be going on to what are taxes. So as you can see in the definition, taxes are involuntary fees levied on individuals or corporations and enforced by a government entity, whether it's local, regional, or national, in order to finance government activities. Going into this a little bit deeper, it's basically to help fund public works and services, kind of like building roads or buying or help building like an apartment complex or something like that. To build and maintain the infrastructures used in a country, the government usually taxes its people and its corporate residents. So the tax collected is used to better the economy and everyone living within the economy. In the US and many other countries in the world, taxes are applied to some form of money received by a taxpayer. Taxpayers include us, your parents, and a bunch of other people. So the money could be income earned from salary from a job, gains from investing, payment made for goods and services like when you shop for groceries or clothes, and etc. So if you can move on to the next slide. So there's some basic types of taxes. There is income tax, which range from federal, state, local, and FICA. So income tax is basically a percentage of individual earnings filed to the federal government. Sales tax is taxes on purchases by a state or country. So sales tax is taxes levied on certain goods and services. Goods and services being like shopping for clothes or buying groceries, like you said in the last slide. Property tax includes real estate, automobile, mortgages. Property tax is based on the value of land and property assets on that land. And then finally, there's wealth tax. That's the federal estate tax or death tax. Wealth tax is basically a tax based on the market value of owned assets. So these are four of the basic types of taxes. There are many different other types of taxes, but these are the ones that I believe that for financially, it's important that everyone knows these types of taxes. If you can move on the next slide, and we're going to get Julia to speak on some deductions.
Hi everyone. So there's a lot of different terms that you should become familiar with when you're trying to start looking at how to file taxes. And there are many different types of deductions when we talk about deductions. So above the line deductions are the ones that you're going to want to look at first. These are payments made to retirement funds, alimonies, things like that. These they consider above the line because these are, how do you explain it? How would you explain this, Ryan? Why is it above the line? It's what you do first, and it's considered, how would you say that? I'm trying to think.
No, you're on the money. So yeah, it's considered like what you said.
Yeah. So, and then after that, you're going to want to decide if you want to itemize your deductions or take your standard deduction. Based off of how you're filing, as single, your filing status, whether it's single, head of household, you're filing jointly, your standard deduction will depend on that. And so you're going to want to decide which one you will get more out of. Itemized deductions are something that you'll have to do on your own, depending on how much you contribute to charity, what your medical expenses may be. So if you know that personally you are contributing a lot to charity, or you had a big year of medical expenses, you may want to go with the itemized deduction rather than the standard deduction. We can go to the next slide. And then a tax credit, is similar to a deduction, but not exactly. This is going to be just, there's many different kinds of credits, but a tax credit is not taking away as much as it is just granting you a credit based off of something that you qualify for. So for example, I believe we have examples later on. Your gross income is another important term. This is going to be all of your different income streams added together. From that, you will get your taxable income after subtracting deductions, exemptions, credits. Exemptions, these come from however many dependents you have. You get an exemption, which is a certain amount that you will get taken off of your taxable income. And then a dependent is anyone that you support financially. So for example, if a family has 3 children and you're financially supporting those 3 children, the head of household will claim 3 dependents. You can go to the next slide. So you may be wondering, do I need to file for taxes? And if I do, what is that going to look like? So we've provided a few visuals to help you decide. So depending on what your filing status is, you need to add up your taxable income. And if it meets these numbers, you are required to file taxes. So most of you will be filing as single. So if you receive your W-2s, and I'm assuming most of you are under 65, if your gross income is at $12,200, you're going to need to file your annual tax return. You can go to the next slide. And then this obviously changes every year, but once you do calculate your taxable income, you're going to want to find which tax bracket you fall into. So it is a marginal tax bracket. So everyone will file, or everyone will pay taxes on the first, if you're single, on the first $9,875 at 10%, and then it will increase from there. So if you're single and your income is at $518,000, you will be paying the 37%, but you're also going to be paying the 10% on the first 9,000, if that makes sense. You can go to the next slide. So there are quite a few forms that you're going to want to collect, and these are kind of a little bit confusing. So let's go into what these look like. So your W-2 is a form that your employer is going to give to you every year around January based off of your earnings from the previous year. These collected, if you have multiple income streams, are going to tell you how much income you made from that specific employer and how much you may have already paid in taxes to FICA or whatever's taken out of your paycheck biweekly or monthly. And these are very important when looking to calculate what your return will be. You can go to the next slide. Your W-4 is something that you you'll have to fill out when you first get hired, and that is when you're going to decide how many allowances to claim. This can be changed whenever, if you decide that you want to claim more or less, you want to pay more taxes through your paychecks during the year in order to adjust your annual tax return. It doesn't matter what the circumstances, they should always let you adjust these. And then we also found this website on the IRS.gov website that actually helps you decide how many allowances to claim. But these only really have to be filled out once when you are first employed. You can go to the next slide. So your 1040 is probably the most important when looking at your annual tax return, because this will show you all of your all the important information is on your 1040, and you're going to want to fill this out and include your routing numbers and your account numbers so that the deposit can get back to you, or that it can be taken out of the right account. And there is the 1040 Easy, which is available to some people in special circumstances if your income is under a certain amount. So this is also a form that you'll get every year. You can go to the next slide. Your 1099, the 1099 form comes in like many different versions. So for example, that we have the 1099-T form for tuition and fees. That's very relevant to students. I know that there's the 1099-G form for unemployment, but these are basically just different versions of reporting your income when it's not from a W-2. So dividends, unemployment, tuition, things like that, they're still required to be reported to the IRS when you're filing taxes. So when you're filling out your FAFSA, hopefully every year, you're going to want to collect a lot of these forms too, not just for your annual tax return. And you're gonna want to make sure that they're all completed and that, that they're updated and everything. So you're gonna want your W-2s, also any 1099s if you're an independent contractor, if you did collect unemployment, something like that. Bank statements may be needed if your application never gets flagged or things like that. And of course, if you had any income that was untaxable. So it is really important when you are filing for taxes that you keep these forms for at least 3 years. We have some special cases where you may want to keep them for longer. For example, if you may have accidentally underreported your income by more than 25%, you're going to want to hold on to those because the IRS may audit you and you may have to provide some more information to them. So definitely important forms to understand and to keep in a special place where they will not get lost. Next slide. So here are a list of all of the forms that you're going to want to keep near and dear to you. Obviously, we already talked about the W-2, the 1099. If you're paying any alimonies, that's all income forms. And then if you are claiming deductions, for example, if you, let's say you had to spend a certain amount of money on a uniform and you're using it as a deduction, you're going to want to keep those receipts to prove to the IRS that you did buy what you're saying you bought. So receipts, invoices, alimony again, charities. So if you're writing off donations, you're going to want receipts for that. Anything when it comes to buying a house, really, all of those things are really important. You're going to get these forms when it comes to retirement accounts sent to you by like whatever brokerage firm you use. They'll send you, your 5498 or your 8606. They'll give you those in time to file every year, but those are important to keep. Other investments, just like honestly anything that is a transactional receipt of any kind they might ask for. So I would just keep it printed in a file somewhere set away safe. So again, these retirement account forms, I think this is actually just a repeat of the last two boxes from last time. Okay, so tax deductions that you might want to be aware of. There are a lot, so definitely if you are wanting to see exactly what you could qualify for, you're going to want to do some research, but these are some common ones. Let's see, the charitable contribution deduction is common. The child tax credit, so for every child you have, a parent can get a credit for, I believe it's like a couple $1,000s every year. So, and I believe that's until they are no longer claimed as a dependent. We'll go into more of these later, but these are just a few common ones. A few more, if you do have a home office, there are lots of things that you can write off, printer ink, utilities, things like that, because you are working out of your own home. Medical expenses, that's a really good one. Property taxes. The government really likes to promote energy efficient use of your home. So if you, for example, have like an electric car, or if you have like solar panels, there are definitely some benefits to that when it comes to filing for taxes. Lots of cool stuff. So definitely something to look into. Next slide. Okay, so to dive in a little bit more about ones that will for sure be relevant for you guys, the earned income tax credit is good for low and middle income families, and is very common in students. The lifetime learning credit is really good if you're spending a lot of money on education related expenses. So books, school supplies, those kinds of things. The student loan interest deduction, that's going to be if you took out loans and you're paying interest on them, you can actually claim up to 2.5K and get that out of your taxable income. So that's really cool too. The American Opportunity Tax Credit is a super common one, also good for low and middle income families, something to look into. And then if you do open a retirement account, or if you have one, your contributions to that retirement account, so not necessarily your earnings, but what you put in, can be used as a deduction as well.
Okay, thank you, Julia. And also just to add on to the IRA, and like for people who think that retirement, like saving for retirement right now is something that shouldn't be in their head, that is something that is you should be looking forward to. Anybody can start, especially at this age. It's all about just putting money to the side and letting that build up as you grow. And then hopefully you can retire like when you're 65, you know? So yeah, so we're going to go into some new policies. So how are taxes changing with the new presidency? So with Biden being the new president, many Americans will be asking the same question, which is, are my taxes going to change? Biden has not hidden the fact that he intends to raise taxes by nearly $3.5 trillion over the next 10 years on corporations and individuals earning more than $400,000 annually. Biden has proposed a package of incentives aimed at cutting taxes for lower income taxpayers, including refundable credits for everything from paying childcare costs to buying a home. Thus, for some, news of a Biden victory could mean more money in their pockets come tax time. So with the new tax policies, lifting the cap on Social Security payroll tax on wages in excess of 400,000. So Biden has promised to secure the solvency of the Social Security fund by lifting the cap on the Social Security payroll tax. But like I said in the previous slide, it's going to only be on wages in excess of $400,000. So this would create a donut hole. So an employee paid a $500,000 salary would pay the 6.2% Social Security tax on the first $137,700. No Social Security tax on wages from $137,700 to $400,000, and was it 6.2 tax on the wages between $400,000 and $500,000. 1.45% Medicare tax on all wages, and 0.9% Obamacare tax on wages over $250,000 if married. And with the expanded child tax credit, the credit, which currently tops at about $2,000, with only $1,000 of that amount being refundable, it would be increased to a maximum of $3,600 per child and would become fully refundable. So Biden's taking some steps towards making these new tax policies a little bit easier on lower income families and lower income and middle class families as well. And next slide. So with these new tax policies, the expanded child and dependent care credit, the old one was $3,000 to, and now they're changing it to a maximum of $8,000 or $16,000 per family. So 50% of the credit would be now refundable. A new $5,000 credit would be created for caregivers of elderly relatives. A new credit up to $15,000 for first-time home buyers. An expansion of the existing premium tax credit that makes state-sponsored health plans more affordable. A renter's credit to reduce rent and utilities to 30% income, and an expansion of the earned income credit to older taxpayers. So like again, making it a lot easier for people who are first-time home buyers and also an elderly and older taxpayers. Next slide. So as a result of these credits, the Biden plan would actually decrease the tax bills of most Americans. A family earning between 88,000 and 160,000 would get an average cut of 540, while one with an income between 50,000 and 90,000 would get a cut of $920. So there's going to be, like we said before, there's going to be a little bit easier on families who are within lower class and middle class range. So will your tax bill go up or down because of Biden's presidency? It really depends. It depends on whether you're on the higher or lower end of the income scale. So if you're on the higher end, you have to prepare to pay more. And if you're on the lower end, a cut will be coming your way. And these types of policies are going to be coming in as soon as he makes new tax policies and signs them off. But yeah, next slide. Someone's in the waiting room, by the way. Okay, and next step. So number 5, we're gonna almost nearly done with the presentation, but we're gonna show you a little bit of resources that can help you with filing for taxes that is offered. So next slide. So tax filing services. So there are many tax filing services, but these are the ones that are the most popular. So there's Intuit TurboTax, which is pricier than the rest, but very easy to use. They have a very easy, like what I said, it's easy to use. The mobile app is pretty easy to navigate, and it offers the bells and whistles that people with thorny tax situations may find is worth a few extra bucks. There's H&R Block. If you have just a W-2 or 1099 for interest income from a bank, H&R Block Free is easy to use and completely free. And then there's also TaxAct, which also offers free service and affordable options. So these are 3 that are offered, but there's also different ways you can file for taxes. There's like small business as well, and other just people that do it one-on-one. So, and also there's something that IRS offers you. So there's something called the Volunteer Income Tax Assistance, which is VITA for short, which is a federal grant program that helps community organizations provide free tax preparation to low and moderate income individuals, the disabled, the elderly, and limited English speakers. Generally, the income limit to qualify for free tax help is $57,000. So this is something that is offered, I believe, UCI is trying to have this more readily available in the future, but there is, I think, resources very close to Irvine that also offer this, and you can find it anywhere online, and it helps a lot, especially if you fit within that income limit. Next slide. And just some final tips for you guys. So understanding your tax bracket. So there's 7 federal income tax brackets. Thank you. You're welcome. Several federal income tax brackets. So there's 10%, 12%, 22%, 24%, 32, 35, and 37. So finding your own tax bracket is really important to understand whether you're fit in the higher taxable incomes or the lower taxable incomes. So if you have if a higher taxable income, you're going to be having higher tax rates, and a lower tax income, you're going to have lower tax rates. Standard deduction is greater than itemized. So standard deduction is a flat dollar, no questions asked tax deduction, and itemized is taking all the individual tax deductions that you qualify for one by one. And tips, we usually recommend standard deduction. Tax deductions versus tax credits. Tax deduction is specific expenses you've incurred that you can subtract from your taxable income. They reduce how much of your income is subject to taxes. Tax credits are even better. They give you a dollar for dollar reduction in your tax bill. So we recommend, or I won't say recommend, but we have seen better things with tax credit than with tax deduction. So be aware of popular tax deduction and credits when looking out into the future when you do file for taxes. And yeah, I think we're about ready for a Kahoot. All right.
Awesome. I hope you all were listening very closely and keenly to our 2 speakers, because now we're going to test your knowledge on taxes. And so let me make sure I have everything ready to go. So I am dropping the game pin in the chat. So if everyone could join in, that would be awesome. And I'm going to keep sharing my screen. I love the name Tax Jerky. Awesome. I'm just going to wait for some more people to come in. I see 28 people on this call, so definitely I'm going to wait until I see at least 20 people signed in. Awesome. Oh, I had the infamous music turned off. Let me put it on. There we go. See, as soon as I turned it on, everyone joined. So there we go. I'm going to give it one more minute and then we can go ahead and get started. And those of you who aren't able to join, you're welcome to play along and just watch the questions come in as well. So I'm going to go ahead and get it started. Okay, the first question is, what are the 4 main types of taxes? Oh, awesome job, y'all. So yes, income, sales, property, and wealth. And I see Ryan is at the top of the board.
I'm gonna make some wrong choices, so I'm not.
Okay,
give
cool.
someone a chance.
And I see Skylar coming in hot. I do not know what this emoji is. Is this golfing?
He's golfing.
Okay. Mr. Golf person, 3rd place. I see you. Let's keep going. What is a W-2 form used for? Awesome. So a W-2 form is used to report wages paid to employees and the taxes withheld from them. And I think there was some confusion with the yellow option, which is for employees to report their yearly income. So did y'all want to clarify why that might be?
I think, let me look at this. Employees to, I think it's just that it also is including the taxes withheld. Yeah.
Awesome. Okay. And next, great. We see some people climbing up. Tax rookie in 1st place. Love to see that. Okay. 3rd question is, which one of these is a tax service? Some H&R Block, yes. So as was mentioned in the presentation, one of the services that does offer tax help is H&R Block. I'm glad no one chose Activia. Next.
Is that a yogurt?
Yeah, I think it's like a digestive yogurt.
Yogurt.
Something like that. Oh, awesome. I see Tax Rookie still at the top, Memo, Sim, Taxer, and then the money emoji. Awesome job, y'all. What tax forms are needed for FAFSA? I hope y'all know this because I know FAFSA is due soon. So Awesome. Yeah.
Oh, you should do your FAFSA as early as possible next year.
All of these answers, yay. So you need a bunch of forms for FAFSA. So like was suggested, make sure you start early so you have everything in order. And memo is at the top of the board. Awesome. Okay. Next up, we have a true or false. You can get tax deductions in college. Yay, full 100%. Yes, you can get tax deductions in college. And as the speakers went over, there's a bunch of deductions that you can apply for. So make sure you take a look at those. And let's check the scoreboard. Pretty similar. Question number 6. What is a dependent? Yes, anyone you support financially. So like was mentioned in the presentation, like if you have kids, those children would be your dependents. Awesome. I see tax expert coming in 5th place. Another true or false. Your W-2 form is provided by your employer. Awesome. Yes, so it's true. Your W-2 form is provided by your employer. Moving on to the next question. What are some tax deductions you can apply for in college? Awesome, 100% across the board. Yes, so all of these are tax deductions that you can apply for in college. Oh, and I see money emoji coming for memo spots. We love that. Okay, ready for next question. So 2 more questions. Which of the following can you deduct from your taxes? Yes, so medical expenses is one of the deductions that you can make for taxes, but obviously there's a lot of various different deductions that you can apply for. And okay, scoreboard's looking the same. So last question, did you learn something from this event?
No.
If anyone puts no, I'm private messaging you after
It's
this.
me. It's me. Sorry. My bad.
Awesome. So that ends our Kahoot. Let's check in to see who our scoreboard is. Sim at 3rd place. Money emoji, I don't know who that is, but 2nd. And then 1st we have Memo. Woo. Congrats, y'all. Let's get out of this. And I think we just have some closing slides and then we're done for today. So I'll go ahead and.
Yes. Okay. I mean, yeah, I think that's pretty much it. It's just a little reference slide just in case. Believe if you need like some of these resources that we talked about in here, we can give that to you for sure. And yeah, we really appreciate you guys and having us here. If you guys have any questions, please feel free to let us know. And yeah, we offer a bunch of different tax presentations and one-on-one coaching if you guys do need and are interested on it. And also we have especially different financial topics, whether it's credit or investing and a bunch of other things that we can find on our website and on our link tree right there. But yeah, we really appreciate you guys. And Julie, you have something to say?
Just want to say thank you everyone for coming, and feel free to book an appointment with me or Ryan or anyone in our commission. And we're excited to keep spreading awareness for financial wellness.
Awesome.
Hope you
Yeah.
guys have a good week 9 rest and week 10, and of course finals week. Yeah.
And Julie and Ryan, is it okay if I send these slides out to people?
Yeah, of course, of course.
Cool. Awesome. Thank you
Just
all.
make
And
sure
those
they
of
can't
you,
edit it because
yes,
it's a
I
lot
will
of work.
send it. Yeah. And those of you who won the gift cards will receive an email sometime within this week. So look out for that. Yeah, thank you for joining us today evening. And if you have any questions, feel free to drop in the chat. But if not, you are welcome to leave and enjoy the rest of your evening. Thank you for joining us.
Perfect. Thank you guys. Think I really appreciate you guys having us here, and yeah, I hope you guys have a good rest of your week as well.
Yes.
If you want to do something like this ever again, please shoot us an email or request a workshop. We'll be happy to come here again and do something like this again.
Yeah, it was great working with y'all's commission, and I will definitely keep y'all posted when I get the recording all up and running. We're gonna post it on our Learn website, and then you guys are also welcome to use it as well. Yeah, thank you for all your work, and I think the presentation went really well, and we had a good turnout, so I'm really glad.
That's great.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you very much. We appreciate you. Have a good rest of your week.
Have a nice night.
Bye, guys.
Bye.